Good morning. My name is Gene Langell, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. But first, please take out of your pockets anything that makes noise and turn it off, because we've trained our ushers to confiscate anything that rings. Thank you. Now, please take this opportunity to give personal greetings to everyone around you. And once again, good morning. And now may I direct your attention to Bodie, our music director, who will lead us in the morning chant.
Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Just a little call and response, all right? Let's all stand up, all right? Move your bodies a little bit. Clap your hands on, like that. Move your. And I'm going to sing something, and you're going to sing something next. It's going to be very easy. Oh, great Spirit. Spirit, oh great 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 Spirit. Listen to my song, listen to my song, and I will listen to you. Listen to my song, listen to my song, and I will listen to you. I will listen to you. Oh, great Spirit, oh, great Spirit, oh, great Spirit, oh, great Spirit. Listen to my song. I will listen to you. Guide me on my way. 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 I am always guided. When I listen to you. Oh, great Spirit, oh, great Spirit, oh, great Spirit, oh, great Spirit. When I start drifting sideways, guide me back to thy ways. Guide me back to thy ways. When I start drifting sideways, guide me back to thy ways. Guide me back to thy ways. Oh, great Spirit. 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 Guide me on my way. 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 Guide me on my way.
Joe Munch just showed up this morning, so it's very great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out right smack in the middle of a holiday weekend. This is wonderful. So in honor of Labor Day, the opening prayer is for all of the work that you have done and that I have done. It's going to be blessed right this minute. So I invite each one of us to turn within, where that opening between the worlds, the world of form and the world of formless, is right there where our breath ends as we breathe in and let it rest. Right there is the opening between the worlds of the form and the formless. And as we imagine that we turn our awareness to the world of the formless, I know that that is God in pure potential. That is the infinite presence in its field of all possibility. That is the beginning of creation, what is created next and next and next. It is in me because I am one with it. I am one with all of the aspects of God. I am one with the form and the creation of God. I am one in connection one unto another. I am one with the mind of God. I live in the love of God. And I open now to the formless, pure potential of God. Everyone here, everyone within the sound of my voice, has that same home place where we enter the formless. And so I know each one of us has that opening, that connection, that love, that guidance, that peace, and that mind of God available to each one. And so in this moment, I give thanks for our hands. I give thanks for my hands and for each hand in this space. I invite the hands to caress one another. The hands. Your own hands, if you're holding hands with someone next to you. Think of the work that has been done through the hands. Think of the creation that has happened through the hands. Think of the consolation that has happened through the hands. Think of the love and the pleasure that has been transmuted through the hands. Think of the minutest detail that can be picked up or sewn or threaded or placed, and the heaviest thing that can be lifted with the hands. These hands represent work in the world. These hands represent labor that makes the world a better place. And so I give thanks for all that we call work that has happened through our intention and through our hands. Looking back over projects in our life and knowing that the world is better because of the work through these hands. And since each one of us still lives in a body and has hands, there must be more work to do. And so I claim that joy and love and creation, new beginnings, new forms take place through the working of hands and fingers and palms and touching. And I call it good. And so I give my thanks for the work of the world and all the hands that do it on this Labor Day weekend. once again, and our music today is Bodie and Joe. So please welcome these precious beings, Bodie and Joe.
You can turn the drum mic off. Good morning. Don't we live in a beautiful place? So, synchronicity, spirit is so synchronistic. I was planning these songs alone this week, and of course, it always happens that Joe always calls me up and says, "Hey, can I play this weekend?" I said, "Oh, yeah." Joe Munch. Breath of God is breathing through me. I feel it breathing through my whole being. The breath of God is breathing through me, and I feel it purify my soul, and I feel purify my soul. The voice of God is singing through me. Hear it singing through my whole being. Voice of God is singing through me, and I feel it purify my soul, and I feel purify my soul. Word of God is praying through me. I feel it praying through my whole being. Word of God is praying through me, and I feel it purify my soul, and I feel it purify my soul. Purify my soul, Joe. breath of God is breathing through me. I feel it breathing through my whole being. The breath of God is breathing through me, and I feel purify my soul. 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 Can you sing that with me? And I feel it purify my soul. And I feel it purify my soul. 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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bodie and Joe. My name is Barbara Cox, and it is my privilege to be the practitioner of the morning today. We always begin in gratitude, and I want to see if Pat Malone is here. Okay. I don't see Pat. We bless Pat. But what I'd like to do this morning is give gratitude for the teams that come in early in the morning while many of you are still dressing or driving or getting ready. There are people who come in and set up the room to provide all the great services that we have. So the education table is right over here. The events table is here. Our practitioners are in the back of the room, and our membership table is over here. So we give thanks for all the people who staff all of that, and we also have Heart to Heart in the back, and I'll be speaking about them in a moment. So thank you for those dear ones who do that. This morning, the children, we bless our children. We have 3 children, great and small. Two. We have 2. There's some more hiding in the back. We have escapees. Wonderful. So we say goodbye to the children, and we bless them, and we think how wonderful that they're learning what we're now learning. They're learning it at that age. Isn't that a magnificent blessing? I wanted to let you know that we have so many fabulous things going on in this community. We may be small, but we are mighty. There's never any boredom around here. There's oodles of good things to do. Mike, have any of you, anyone who's heard Mike Robbins speak, raise your hand. Oh, good. Oh, good. You know who I'm speaking about. He and his beloved wife, Michelle, they're in a long-term marriage, will be coming to speak on Sunday, September 16th, and then that afternoon they will be giving a workshop on loving relationships, and they certainly know how to do it. And Mike, as you may recall, is a speaker, a teacher, a best-selling author of several books that have been translated into 12 languages. And one of his favorite book titles is Be Yourself, Everyone Else is Already Taken. He's a regular contributor to the Huffington Post and Oprah.com. One of our great features of activities is a once-a-month practicing the presence, always led by a practitioner, on a different theme every month. And this Wednesday, September 5th, Pat Malone will be doing an exercise on creating mandalas. That is a unique experience. So we hope you'll come to that. I would like to let you know also that our beloved heart-to-heart table, which is in the back, is in service to the community for anyone in need. And at this moment, we have a fair number of our beloved members who are in need. So if you can supply some meals or some rides, please go to the back today and sign up for Heart to Heart. That would be so appreciated. We have a new ambassador program, and for anyone who does not know, our ambassadors are those who know all about this community and can answer questions for newcomers or anyone who has questions about the community. Will anyone who's an ambassador please stand this morning so we can recognize you? So look around. Great, thank you. And next, I'd like to call up Reverend Sarah, who will be speaking about her success group.
Thank you, Barbara. How do you define success? I am. There are probably as many different definitions of success as there are people in this room and actually people on the planet. The best-selling author Anna Quindlen says, if your success is not in your own terms, if it looks good to you, if it looks good to the world but does not feel good in your heart, it is not success at all. So I would invite you to join me for a 4-week exploration to look at your definition of success, where you are, where you want to be, and how to get there using spiritual principles. It's going to start on the 10th of September, Monday nights. It'll be on 4 Monday nights. I see several faces of people who have taken the class before, and some of those are taking it again because they're in a different place in their life and they want to revisit what they define success. We'll be using Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. And it's very interactive, and you'll also learn how to do your own mastermind, your full spectrum mastermind group. I wanted to leave you with one quote from Holmes, which was, at all times we are either drawing to us or we are pushing things away from us. So if you want to know how to pull more of the things you want to you, join me September 10th. Thanks.
Thank you, Reverend Sarah. And now it is my great privilege to call to the podium the one, the only, our beloved Reverend Carol.
Thank you. Well, I have a couple of announcements before I launch into the talk today. And one is about Joel Fatinos, who did this fabulous workshop yesterday, and we had more than 35 people attend, so people were extremely thrilled. We were sitting down to dinner, and he goes, "Oh my God, I forgot to tell them something. You just got him so engrossed in questions and answers yesterday that he said, remember the list of things that are unfinished." Okay, the things that are unfinished go right here on the worksheet. This is 4A, B, and C. For those of you that were there, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you that weren't there, we're going to have him back because he was fabulous. Oh, well, yeah. So the other announcement is I'm teaching the foundational class. This is the first class of the accredited Science of Mind classes. And so that is starting on the last Thursday of this month. It goes for 11 weeks. And it is the basic philosophy of Science of Mind, how to do spiritual mind treatment, how to understand the creative law. And then we deal with specific topics like forgiveness and relationships and aging and all kinds of wonderful things about how you can have a happier life. And so it's your entry into the accredited classes. If any of you have the inkling that you might want to pursue ministry or practitioner training, this is your first step. So I encourage you to sign up right over there at the education table. And for those of you who are here for the first time or are still new-ish, I especially welcome you. I want you to feel completely at home. You can ask the ambassadors anything. I would love to meet you. And please go to the Welcome Newcomers table and take one of everything and come back. That's mostly what I wanted to say. So thanks for being here. And now I'll just turn around and start the talk here. Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm Reverend Carol Huntley. And our whole year this year is about tools for transformation. We are using this book, Living in Gratitude, and we have a word a week symbolized by that tree. We have more copies of the tree now because you want to take it home and use it and apply these principles to your life with an affirmation each week and an action step. So we're beginning a new month this September, and the theme is Opening to Wisdom and Guidance. And so our word today is guidance, and I just want you to take a peek at this amazing Kathy Fowler altar. This has got all kinds of symbols about guidance. We've got the angels that light the way and call to us. This is the path that we walk upon that's laid out in front of us. And I'm going to talk about how to find your guidance, but it's all here too. We have a couple of Ganeshas, getting rid of the obstacle deity. We can always use a couple of those. And the pearl of wisdom around the Thai angel's necks and my neck. So that's the wonderful altar about guidance. And so what I want to start about guidance is that we all have voices in our heads, right? We have voices that compare us. We have voices that shame us. We have all that should. Well, maybe you don't, but these are the voices that sometimes come to me. The list voice. This. Oh, you didn't do that. And then in the midst of all these voices is the voice of grace, of God, of wisdom, the voice of life itself beckoning to us. And the title of the talk is How to Know If the Small Voice is Guidance. Because we don't want to listen to some of those voices. And so I remembered, some of you may remember, as I do, the Disney cartoons of Pluto. Remember Pluto, the kind of orange-colored dog? And Pluto would have the angel and the devil telling him to love the chipmunks, chase the chipmunks. And it's so symbolic of what we have going on in our own head, right? A voice that calls us to greatness and a voice that calls us actually to protection, because fear is all about protection. So we want, of course, to listen to the voice of God, because listening to the voice of fear brings us into all those things that we don't want more of, and listening to the voice of God brings us to all those things that we do want more of. So when might you like the voice of guidance? Again, I asked myself this. When I'm confused, confusion has to do usually with what you think in your head and what you know in your heart. That's another talk. But when you're confused, when I'm confused, I would love the voice of guidance telling me where to go, what to do. When I'm disappointed about something, when I thought I was going down this path, I thought this path was going to lead to joy, and then something disappoints me, I would like the voice of guidance then, wouldn't you? Yeah. And when I'm stuck, when it's like, oh my gosh, this week looks a lot like last week, and the week before that, and I need some new energy in my life, that's when I would like some guidance. And then it doesn't have to be even that I'm feeling bad. It's just that I'm maybe uninspired. And that voice of guidance would be very, very welcome. It's when, if we sit down for lunch with a good friend and we have the tendency to ask, well, what do you think I should do now? Or how do you think I should get myself out of this mess? That's when we turn to the divine guidance of the voice of God. So the science of mind teaching about this is that there's only one mind. There's not our mind and the mind of God. There's one mind that is everywhere present that contains all the answers. It contains all the right answers. It contains all wisdom. It contains solutions. It contains the next good idea. It contains what will get you unstuck. It contains what will get you inspired. And this mind of God is reliable, available, discernible, and it is the mind that we are using. There's not two minds. There's not our mind and God's mind. Like I said, we're using this one mind, but because we have all this freedom of choice that gets us into trouble sometimes, we sometimes use that one mind of God in a life-draining way rather than a life-enhancing way. And some of the ways we do that are we nurture disappointment. We chew on it like a dog with a bone. We chew on comparison. We remind ourselves of what we don't like. Do you ever do that? Do you ever rehearse conversations you're going to have with somebody you're mad at? I don't do that too much anymore. Boy, I used to. And then yesterday, Joel was talking to us about how much time we waste on television and the internet. And he did this adorable soliloquy of the internet, of how, he is enticed here, and then he's enticed there, and then he clicks on this, and then somebody has a link, and so he goes to that link, and pretty soon hours have passed, and nothing has happened besides him wasting a couple of hours. So these are ways that we can use the mind of God that are not particularly productive. They're not dangerous, usually, but if they're not productive, what they create is more of what we don't want. Because we don't just think a thought and have it hang in space, because thought is creative. So this is a wonderful, Henry David Thoreau said it beautifully. He said, as a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep and physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kinds of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives. But then, of course, if we think over and over again the things that we don't want to have in our lives, that makes a deep mental path, and that's what we get more of. So if we want to get good guidance, we need to stop that kind of thing. Then what is productive is, I'm telling you, everything we do here. Every class, every team, every meeting, every time you talk with a practitioner, every time you come up to, you don't even have to meet with a practitioner, you go up to somebody that's had a little bit of training here and say, tell me the truth. I really need to hear the truth. And then that's what we're about. That's why this philosophy is called the science of mind. Isn't that interesting? So as we, this month, open to wisdom and guidance, what we're looking for is answers that make our life better. Like Einstein said, I want to know God's thoughts, the rest are details. So would you like to know how to nurture the guidance of God? Good, that's what I have prepared for you. So, encouraging divine guidance, okay? So, this book, in this chapter of September, has some great information, and I have distilled it. So on page 171, those of you that have the book, the first step, I've kind of consolidated a bunch, but this is big work. Let me tell you what Angela Zarian says to do first. Transform your motivation, reduce craving, and find your soul's desire. Cultivate emotional wisdom, heal your heart, and learn to love. Whoa. Here, heal your heart. That's what we do. So last week, we talked about the two kinds of integrity. This integrity is the integrity that you have with yourself. Healing your heart means noticing when you are activated in a negative way and fear rises. And then you follow that fear to the belief underneath it, which is always a lie, and nurture the truth. And you do that over and over and over again. That is the work. It's not going to go away by itself. If you have beliefs based on separation, loss, fear, scarcity, those thoughts can be activated by any number of things in the world. It's not your mate that makes you feel that way. It's not the rude driver that makes you feel that way. It's not the newscaster that makes you feel that way. You have the feeling in you, and your mate or the driver or the newscaster reminds you of what is already within you, and then the fear rises. That's the process. And the healing is what we talked about last week over and over and over again. Repeat after me. I am whole. I am safe. I am provided. I am one with God. That is the truth. And when that is installed, your heart will be healed. And we're here to help you do that. Next, live the golden rule. That was last week, the integrity piece about living with each other. In Angela Zarian, she says, live ethically, feel good by doing good. So if we live by the golden rule, we are integrous with each other because we are acting from the place and living in the manner and expressing the words that we want to come to us. And as we create this environment around us, there is an energy field that attracts like energy fields, and so it automatically happens. As we treat each other with respect and love and honoring and listening and consideration, calmness and patience, to name a few, those kinds of practices will be given back to us. So the first two steps here are really about getting clear of our own fears, and getting honest and positive with each other. That means we don't have any blocks to the goodness that wants to come to us. I remember years ago, there was a book called Mutant Message Down Under. Do you remember that book about this woman that walked across Australia? And there was this piece in there about how the native people of that area could listen to a tree and hear the voice of someone hundreds of miles away. They used trees kind of like telephones. And then there was another piece where they could read minds. It was kind of all in that same vein there. And they said that they could read each other's mind because they had no secrets. So this is the same kind of thing. If you want great guidance from God, you have to get rid of all of the blocks that you have about anything. Because a block against something blocks all that goodness. So getting rid of the fear that you have one unto another, the disrespect you have one unto another, we get good practice now, don't we, with the political conventions. We get really good practice in not being activated and in really honoring and seeing each other as the divine beings that we are. When that happens, we are then open for the divine vision. So then after we're clear, we invite the divine vision, which is exactly what happens in the visioning practice. We don't just open to the vision of, okay, what's the highest vision for my life? We spend some practice getting into love, getting into peace, getting into that receptive place where there are no barriers. So when we're clear and centered in love, the visioning practice opens us to the divine download. This is what I'm combining here from Angeles Arian. Concentrate and calm your mind. Awaken your spiritual vision. See clearly and recognize the sacred in all things. Cultivate spiritual intelligence. Develop wisdom and understand life. That's a lot. You can just do this. Invite the divine vision. So, when we're clear and we ask a question, we get some information. We might get a picture, we might get colors, we might get words. And it's not really that we are asking for God's will for our life. Some of you might have been from a tradition where you ask for God's will for your life and it's like all you get to do is obey. What we're doing in visioning is we're saying there are an infinite number of futures. In this infinite number of futures, there are some that are filled with love and filled with light and filled with great work and success and satisfaction and contentment. That is the set of visions that I open to. Because when we come right down to it, that high, great, loving, beautiful vision for your life is the will of life for you to live that, and it becomes our will as well. So there were lots and lots of examples yesterday about that Joel told about getting divine guidance, because you can get divine guidance as you're visioning, but you can also get it from the mouth of another one. You can get it in any number of ways. And actually, it was Joel who told me to do my little book of quotes. This was when I was at dinner with him at the convention when we were in New Orleans, and he pulled out his book. He said, "Carol, do this." Then he like riveted my eyes. He goes, "Carol, do this." And so I did. I got that was a divine download. Okay? He told a story yesterday when he was living in Marin City. He was opening to a larger life, and he had 3 great offers. He had a couple of offers in San Francisco that were much better than what he had now, and then he had an offer from Putnam in New York City. And he's a Midwestern boy, you know. I mean, he was from Nebraska, he worked in Colorado, and then he came to the big city, San Francisco, and now he was, had an opportunity to move to New York. So all of these were better than what he had, and he wanted divine guidance, so he said, "God, please, please, I need a sign as big as a billboard." And he was driving along Highway 101 in Marin that has no billboards, but there was a billboard that was going up. And he looked over, he was such a good storyteller, he looked over, and the part of the billboard that had been pasted up is, "You'll have fun in New York." But then, in his telling of it, he said, no, I was still driving and saying, "God, give me a sign." So he said he looked at the license of the car in front of him, goodness God is patient with him. That was a thick skull to get through. But that's how divine guidance came to him. Then he gave this great example from Think and Grow Rich, which is what he taught. Now, Napoleon Hill was one of the first people to do that practice that I've heard in a number of instances where you have your own like boardroom. You invite people that are dead, alive, whatever, to a table, and then you meet with them every day. When you go to sleep, you kind of picture the people around the table and pose a question. And then as this really takes hold in you, the people in your vision take on their own personality and a life of their own. So in his boardroom, he had people like Emerson and Paine and Darwin, Carnegie, and Abraham Lincoln. So he was doing this for a while, and he was working in the field of prosperity, and he was one of the ones that interviewed the 50 richest people in the world, and kind of got this was commissioned by Carnegie, and got a kind of like a personality profile of what makes someone one of the 50 richest people in the world. So he was doing this work, but he hadn't written this Think and Grow Rich, which is the Bible for everybody that has ever done prosperity work since this was written. And this was right before the Great Depression. So he went to sleep one night, and get this. Some 6 months after I had discontinued the practice, I was awakened one night, or thought I was, when I saw Lincoln standing at my bedside. He said, "The world will soon need your services. It is about to undergo a period of chaos which will cause men and women to lose faith and become panic-stricken. Go ahead with your work and complete your philosophy. That is your mission in life. If you neglect it for any cause whatsoever, you will be reduced to a primal state and be compelled to retrace the cycles through which you have passed during thousands of years." Okay, yeah, you think that was not a suggestion, right? That was not a vision. This is like, you got to do this or you're going to be so sorry. So, all of those ways and more, we can receive vision if we start clean. Then, of course, the last thing is express spirit. Have our words and actions follow naturally. She says, express spirit in action. Embrace generosity and the joy of service. So it's like, what a great talk for Labor Day weekend. The work of our hands is needed in the world. We will be shown what to do, and we need to say yes. But, there's no need to hurry. There really isn't. If you're not clear, because sometimes when we start trusting in God, we need to practice a while before it gets clear. And that was, I was reminded of so many people that I have seen go into the ministry. I can't tell you how many times on like ordination speeches or speeches of early in ministry, the young ministers would say, "I got a vision that I was called to the ministry, and I said, please God, not this." And it kept coming to me. So, and then they said yes. So usually it doesn't come like Lincoln. It could, for you. You could be, knocked off the horse like Saul was. But mostly the vision coalesces and it gets clearer. So what we do is we begin to build our yes. Because a big life vision is usually more than we've thought of with our logical mind. So as the vision is being offered to us, I heartily suggest that you nurture a yes. And the way that looks is you start by saying, well, I'm willing. I have no idea how to do this, but I'm willing. Then a little bit more comes to you, and you go, okay. Then you pray to Ganesh, and, the obstacles vanish. And then you get a little bit more information until you've got this great big yes. And as you have this great big yes, life gets a great big yes for you. So Joel had this great model of a triangle, an equilateral triangle with, at the peak up here is what you want, the vision, where you're going, what you're saying yes to. Here in this corner is you, where you are now, and here in this corner is life, or God. So what happens when you start saying, I'm willing, okay, I'm getting a little clearer, okay, yes, then life starts changing the universe around you to support your yes. So that when you get to the top and have realized that vision or that goal, you can look back and see all that life has done on your behalf. Now that story comes from the Lord's Prayer. Many times we have looked at the Aramaic translation of the Lord's Prayer because Aramaic is the language that Jesus spoke, and we know from our past study with Aramaic that Aramaic is a layered language, that one word has many meanings, and even the root of the word takes on a whole bunch of more meanings, and then the sounds inside the word take on meanings, and so it's a rich, varied language that when you look at the Aramaic, every single line in the prayer has many meanings. So I am going to this line that is translated as, Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Because we're talking about God's will and our will. So what it says in English is that what is so in the formless becomes so in the form. Pretty science of mind. So the explanation of this in Aramaic, and I won't attempt to say the Aramaic, but one word I will. In this fourth and most central line of the prayer, heaven meets earth. So Sevianak is one of the words in this line that can be translated as will. But it is not what we usually think of as willpower or trying hard or willfulness. In Aramaic, the word carries the meaning of desire, a harmonious cooperation of movement that includes natural discipline. This kind of heart's desire means that one's goal or purpose has moved beyond the mental or ideal stage. It has become so much a part of oneself that one need no longer think about it. One's whole being moves towards the goal with certainty. So here are some of the translations that to me say a giant yes from us and a giant yes from the universe. Your one desire then acts with ours, as in all light, so in all forms. Here's another one. Let all wills move together in your vortex as stars and planets swirl through the sky. And another one. As we find your love in ours, let heaven and nature form a new creation. And finally, let your heart's fervent desire unite heaven and earth through our harmony. That's what we're headed for. does is become clear. Clear the channels, heal your heart, clear the fear away, and then get clear in your listening. Then receive the divine guidance until you're clear on what it is. Then you begin to build your yes and follow the guidance, knowing that in moving towards your vision, the universe realigns with you so that the big yes can be the manifestation of your vision. You begin to move and the universe supports you. And then you get there. From Thoreau again. If one advances confidently in the direction of their dream, endeavoring to live the life they are imagining, one passes an invisible boundary. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. One begins to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. As I look out at you and I think about this amazing and magnificent process, every single one of you has such magnificent work to do in the world with your yes and the yes of God. And every single one of you, as we do our work, we make the world better. And so doesn't it kind of put into perspective little disappointments and little things that we could be annoyed by? We have giant, great, good, transformative work to do. So let's pray that in. And so I invite you to that place where that doorway between the worlds is, that doorway moving from the unformed into the realm of earth and the formed, that doorway, that threshold, where every possibility of God meets our desire for a great life. And sitting in this threshold is the place of creation. And so as I sit in my creative place, and you sit in your creative place, and we are namaste together, I see a world, and I invite you to see this world with me, in which all decisions are divinely inspired, where all decisions come from love and vision, and never from fear anymore, for we know how to heal the fear, and we help each other heal the fear. Every movement in our life, we know that there is the support of God for every great manifestation. And as we manifest one great thing, we open to the next. Because life's big yes can say yes to something bigger than we're looking at right now. Life's big yes is huge. I see a world in which none of the desires of our heart run into each other in conflict. Because in God's infinite harmony, as we are all working with the love and the peace and the vision within us, we create a world that works for everyone, where there is balance and love, and each one of us lifts each one of us higher, so that our individual yeses become bigger. For life always can meet us with an even bigger yes. And so I see this world of peace and harmony, of success and compassion, of right livelihood for all, and that feeling at the end of the day of contentment and satisfaction because our hands have been well used.
letting the past go. I see myself now, embracing the moment. I know that somehow I am guided. I am guided. I am guided to you. Storm on the ocean awakens my dream. The mist on the mountain becomes a wild rushing stream. Sunlight is burning, the fog from the shore. Veil it is lifting. I know that once more I am guided. I am guided. I am guided to you. I am guided. I am guided. I am guided to you. Yes, I am guided. I am guided. I am guided to you. Joe Munch.
Here's my teacher.
Perfect song, perfect. I'd like to invite the ushers to get ready to accept the tithes and offerings, and then for each one of us to prepare our hearts for giving and receiving, because as we give, of course, we receive from everyone else in the room. So for those of you that have automatic contributions from your bank account, you can put one of those little cards in the basket, or even another $1 or $2, just so that you can have the good feeling of giving. So whatever it is that you want to give today, just hold it in front of your heart, that place that between the worlds, the form from the formless, and know that this symbol of our supply, known as money, is the symbol symbol of that which is always being given by the infinite presence. We have the supply of everything we need. As we just believe it and know it, it is there just like our next breath. And so we nurture this ability to receive by giving, because it is in the flow, not in the grabbing or in the holding, but in the flow that we receive. And so we give with great joy and anticipate even more blessings from the infinite presence. So it is. Amen. The ushers, please receive the gifts.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give all my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to stop. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
So I give thanks for these tithes and offerings. I give thanks for the dear, generous hearts that gave and keep on giving. I give thanks for this precious community that weaves itself together in song and word and love, in giving and receiving every Sunday and many moments in between. We are so blessed. And so it is. Amen. So we don't forget, us here, turn around, wave at the people watching us. We love you all around the world. Yes, we do. And as we get ready to close this wonderful service, I'd like to ask the practitioners on duty this morning to come forward. These people know how to tell the truth if you want to hear it. And I'll ask Barbara Cox to come forward and pray us out.
Will you join me in our closing prayer? Oh, sweet Spirit. Oh, sweet Spirit. Oh, sweet Spirit. Thank you. On behalf of everyone here, I give my loving thanks for being in community, for hearing a truth greater than each one of us, for knowing that we are so loved, each and every one of us, that there is a divine plan and there is guidance. No matter what, there is guidance. So I give my loving thanks that each one of us now knows a new way to call in that good into our lives so that we can be in great alignment with the greater good yet to be. And I give thanks for the beauty of this morning, the altar, the music, being in community, remembering, knowing, falling into the great goodness. And I know this day, as each one of us leaves this sanctuary, that we go forth with our own light shining brighter for the work that we have done this morning, for that divine yes that we have said yes to, so that as we leave this day, our own light is brighter. And we cannot help but spread that light to others and make this world a better place. Oh, sweet Spirit, thank you for this time. Thank you for the beloveds that sit in front of us and behind us and next to us and whisper in our ear and gaze in our eyes. Thank you for the great good. Thank you for miracles beyond what I can even say thank you, to say thank you to. It is so good. It is so good. It is so good. And so it is. Amen.